the girls in the waiting area saw me and stared. We all know what I did. We all know what I did. I peed on myself. I peed on myself.
Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life.
This is the time. This is the story of my most embarrassing audition. Most embarrassing. And I've had a few, but this is my most embarrassing one. It was pre-COVID, so it was when you had to audition in person. You had to drive and find parking in LA, which is a whole feat in itself. But I got a call from my agent saying, okay, you have to go to this audition. It's a rush call and it's a pretty big role. Just go. And I'm like, okay, when is it? She's like, literally in a couple of hours. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So she sends me over the sides. I'm memorizing. I had just come home from work, so I'm like throwing on a dress because the scene calls for a dress. Throwing on a dress, and I rush to the car because this is rush hour right now. So I know by the time I get there is by the time my audition slot is happening. So I get in the car. I have all throughout the day. I've had water. I had lots of coffee, and because I had just got home from work and I changed quickly, went back to my car. I didn't pee. So I'm in the car on the 405, and if you know the 405, it's a psychotic highway, back to back, especially during rush hour. And so I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours. 2 hours! And I'm like writhing in my seat because I have to pee. I'm like, oh my god. And there's no way I'm stuck in the highway. I'm lanes over. It would be a huge waste of time to get off the lane and go back in. I just didn't have the time. I had to get to this audition literally in the time that the traffic lasted. So I couldn't stop. I am writhing in my seat. I am like, oh my god, I have to pee so bad. I have to pee so bad. And I'm looking at the exits. I can't leave now because if I get off the exit, I'm going to be late for this audition. It might blow the whole damn thing. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? I have to pee. I can't hold it. I'm at the point where I cannot hold it. I'm at the point where I'm squeezing my nails into my skin, drawing blood, biting my bottom lip. I'm like, okay, I have a cup because I was just drinking coffee, of course. So I have a cup in my car. I said, I'm just going to lift up. I'm wearing a dress. It'll make it easy. I'm going to lift up my dress. I'm going to lift up my dress and then just kind of put the cup underneath and pee. And so I do that. I pick up my dress and I start to pee, and I am peeing a lot. And of course, this shit doesn't work. I am peeing all over myself. I am drenching the dress. I'm like, oh. It's broad daylight. People could see. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have tinted windows. So I'm like trying to be, discreet, and I'm peeing all over myself. I am literally peeing all over myself. I don't have extra fucking clothes. So I'm like, oh my god. I just peed on myself. I am completely drenched. What am I going to do? I got to get out of this traffic first. I get to the audition. I have a couple minutes to spare. I go in my trunk. I'm like, I have to have something. And I just have a sweater. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to wrap the sweater around me. Because if you turn me around, there's a lot of urine just right there. And it looks like I peed. I peed on myself. So I wrap the sweater around me. I go to the audition. I see all these beautiful girls with all their beautiful dresses. And I look like a homeless freak with her ratty, hold up sweater wrapped around the dress. I just look stupid. I look ridiculous. But then in my head, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm going to knock the shit out of this audition. They won't even care what the F I'm wearing. They're going to be like, whoa, that was so good. We don't care. You look like a homeless psycho freak. So I thought. So I go into the room, I make my intro, is the producer and the casting director. Hi, how are you? I'm Christina. I will be reading the role for, I forgot the name, Beth. And they were like, okay, great. Can you remove your sweater? I'm trying something different for this role. I thought, I was getting a sense that her style is very dynamic and she would wear something like this. No, you want to remove the sweater? Or you prefer if you remove the sweater? Okay. I remove the sweater. And I do the audition. And because the audition requires movement, I have to go around. Movement is minimal, but I have to do a sideways turn, and they can see. They can see what I've done. They can see I peed on myself like a damn toddler. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh my God, thank you so much. And then I leave. And then the whole time I walk to my car thinking, now why didn't I just tell them I spilled coffee on myself? But then just back there, it was so embarrassing. I was embarrassed. I had to leave the room. The girls in the waiting area saw me and stared. We all know what I did. We all know what I did. I peed on myself. I peed on myself. And I tried to crack a joke and say, to dispel the silence in the room, and it was like, oh, that audition was scary. as a reason why I did what I did. I didn't get the role, needless to say, and they probably think that girl pees on herself, that girl's a weirdo. No more auditions for her. But that was my most embarrassing. Yeah, and I've had a lot of embarrassing, awkward moments. I'm an embarrassing, awkward person. So, par for the course. Let me know your embarrassing story to help me feel better, because misery loves company.